Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the January 1st, 2022 special edition of The Breast There Is, The Breast There Was, and The Breast There Ever Will Be Wrestling Podcast. As always, I am your host, Mikey B, WWE. And first of all, let me wish everybody out there a Happy New Year, as today is the first day of 2022. WWE has scheduled a pay-per-view event for the first time ever on New Year's Day, and it's a brand new pay-per-view called Day One. I guess that's a little obvious, seeing as how it's New Year's Day and they got this going on Day One. So typically WWE doesn't do another pay-per-view in the same month as the Royal Rumble, but here we are, and hopefully it's going to be interesting as we make our way slowly towards the build-up towards WrestleMania. So at this inaugural WWE Day 1 pay-per-view, there are 8 matches on the card listed tonight. Well, technically 7 on the main card, and there's 1 kickoff match listed on WWE.com. And I started last season of my podcast making sure that I give predictions for every match listed, as well as kickoff matches, just to increase the sample size for my prediction count. So without further ado, let me get to the first of the matches listed here, which is the only kickoff match listed on the WWE Day 1 match card here. The kickoff match is Cesaro and Ricochet taking on the team of Sheamus and Ridge Holland. I think because Ridge Holland has been introduced somewhat recently as Sheamus's sidekick, I think the sensible thing here would be to give those guys a victory and start creating some heat with these guys. Hopefully it's in a controversial fashion to create more heat and get people more upset with them and build their status as heels even further. I mean, Sheamus is such a seasoned veteran. He's been both a babyface and a heel in his years in the WWE. But currently he's a heel, and now that he's grooming this new protege heel, Ridge Holland, I think that makes the most sense wrestling, booking wise, for them to give Sheamus and Ridge Holland a little boost here, boost their profile. So my pick for the kickoff match is Sheamus and Ridge Holland. Moving on to the first match of the 7 matches on the main card, we have Drew McIntyre taking on Madcap Moss. I mean, this one's pretty obvious if you're looking at it on paper. Drew McIntyre, of course, he's a former champion. The guy's been in the top of the WWE for the greater part of 2 years now. He's obviously much better than Madcap Moss. The only tricky thing here is that Madcap Moss, of course, is aligned himself with Happy Corbin, formerly Baron Corbin. So we know Happy Corbin, I'm sure, is going to try and interfere and do his thing. Perhaps in an attempt to set up a feud between Drew McIntyre and Happy Corbin leading towards Royal Rumble or even WrestleMania. But I hope Drew McIntyre will be in consideration for the top title picture come WrestleMania time. So I hope this is just a little bit of a nice pay-per-view victory for him on his way to start accumulating some victories towards hopefully a title opportunity at WrestleMania. So even though there's the threat of Happy Corbin, of course, I'm still going to root for and choose Drew McIntyre to be victorious over Madcap Moss in this singles contest. So Drew McIntyre is my pick there. The next match is Edge versus The Miz. 2 guys who are, one already a Hall of Famer and another one a surefire WWE Hall of Famer. And I think this is one of those programs here that is just getting started. I know both of them aren't always competing every single week on on WWE programming, but these two, I think I could see this feud lingering towards WrestleMania, hopefully culminating in a pretty awesome matchup. So having said that, I think it's going to lay the framework now to start the feud or prolong it with Miz getting a controversial victory over Edge tonight. That's what I suspect to happen, because Edge will be furious. He'll want a rematch. Who knows when that'll happen? Maybe at the Rumble. We'll see. But either way, this is a feud that I think is just starting to get going. So, so my pick for this match is The Miz to be victorious over Edge. Moving on to the next match, the first championship match on the card. It's for the Raw Tag Team Championships. We have the champions, the team of RK Bro, taking on the Street Profits. I just think that RK Bro, they've had such a popular run so far. I just don't see them losing the belts just yet. The Street Profits, of course, are former champs, and they're one of the top tag teams in the WWE. But I still don't see the belts changing hands from RK Bro yet. Maybe once again we'll get after tonight's pay-per-view, we'll have a more clear sense, hopefully heading into the Royal Rumble, maybe of some feuds that might carry over to that. But either way, this is another one I could see this program continuing on beyond tonight, and I think RK Bro is just going to retain, and we might see this matchup a few more times in the coming months. But for now, RK Bro, I believe, will retain the Raw Tag Team belts tonight. Moving on to the SmackDown, for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. Here we got the defending champions, the Usos, taking on the New Day. This matchup we've seen many times over the years in the WWE. Definitely two great legendary tag teams. As has been my reasoning for many months, as the Usos have had the belts, they've had the tag belts at the same time Roman Reigns has been dominating with the Universal Championship. I do think that because of that, and I've thought that to make their alliance, their faction seem stronger, it would make more sense that they're all holding belts. So I still think that the Usos are going to retain their belts tonight, because I don't think this whole thing is falling apart yet with Roman and his cousins, the Usos. So I think the Usos will be victorious over the New Day tonight, but again, would not be shocked if these two are matching up again very soon for another rematch for the belts. But tonight, Usos I picked to retain the SmackDown Tag Team belts. Moving on to the Raw Women's Championship match, we have the champion Becky Lynch taking on Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan, I personally feel is she's right on the cusp of kind of getting into the top tier championship status. Hopefully the company is building something up for her towards WrestleMania, because she's starting to get more support from the crowd, and I think this year will be big for Liv Morgan. I think for sure she's going to win the championship, but I don't think it will be tonight. Becky Lynch, of course, is she's quite a sneaky, cunning veteran superstar herself. I think she will use her smarts to her wits to outsmart Liv Morgan this evening and retain. But like I said, I think Liv Morgan could win the belt soon, even as soon as WrestleMania. I think that hopefully they're building something for her to win the title, one of the big titles there. So we'll see. I know lots can happen, of course, with both Royal Rumble and tonight's event in between, but I do think Becky Lynch will retain, and Liv Morgan will remain in the title picture. So Becky Lynch is my pick to retain the Raw Women's Championship. Moving on to the second last match of the night, it's for the WWE Championship, and it's a fatal four-way match. We have the champion Big E taking on Seth Rollins, taking on Kevin Owens, taking on Bobby Lashley. I suspect this will be the only match, or at least I'm predicting this to be the only match that we see a title change on the card tonight, which I guess is a bit of a spoiler for my final prediction coming up next. But as far as this match, this WWE Championship Fatal 4-Way match goes, I think Bobby Lashley returning in such a strong fashion, as well as the design of this match being a Fatal 4-Way, Big E, he doesn't need to necessarily get pinned to lose the belt, and I think that's gonna help for the storyline purposes. I think Bobby Lashley is gonna come away with it tonight, but I think he'll drop it again soon. Maybe back to Big E. Who knows? I think both, and even Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins are, I think, going to remain in the championship title picture here for the next few months. So I wouldn't even be surprised if we see this Fatal 4-Way matchup again soon, or at least the combination of these guys going at each other for the next few months, because I think we're looking at whoever's going to be in the WWE Championship match at WrestleMania. I think the guys are probably in this match if they're going to do a one-on-one or a triple threat or even a fatal four-way again. But regardless, I think to build some intrigue, I think Bobby Lashley's going to win the belt back, and then we're going to see the rest of them try and win it back from Bobby in the coming months. So Bobby Lashley is my pick to win the WWE Championship tonight at Day 1. And moving on to the final match on the card, it's for the Universal Championship with champion Roman Reigns taking on Brock Lesnar. I think this belt's going to change hands soon. Roman Reigns, I think long reign is going to come to an end pretty soon, but I don't think it's going to happen at Day 1. I think that's more reserved for WrestleMania territory. So somehow Reigns is going to get out of this. I think he might have the Usos come in and interfere or help him. I'm not even sure if he's going to win or if he's going to retain the belt by defeating Lesnar. I could see the Usos interfering, causing a disqualification, in which case Brock Lesnar would win the match, but Roman Reigns would retain the belt. I personally hate those kinds of matches for predictions because they're so stupid and hard to predict. So, and I don't ever like picking a winner via countout or disqualification or whatever, but either way, I have to honor whatever the results are, but either way, I think Roman Reigns is going to retain the belt, and so I got to hope that he's going to win the matchup too. So this feud is also just kind of heating up again, but Roman Reigns, I think, is going to win this round tonight. So Roman Reigns is my pick there. So there you have it, folks. A quick recap of the victors for tonight's pay-per-view. I have Sheamus and Ridge Holland winning the kickoff match. Then I have Drew McIntyre, The Miz, RK Bro, the Usos, Becky Lynch, Bobby Lashley, and Roman Reigns as my victors for tonight. So hopefully it's an entertaining pay-per-view card, leading up to Royal Rumble in a few weeks. So here's hoping WWE does an excellent job with this pay-per-view tonight. So thanks very much for listening, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel below if you enjoyed what you heard. Thanks very much, and see you next time.